Welcome to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about some of the things that you can be doing during this month of November. And one of the things with me here is my trusty rake. And unfortunately, one of the things that we do during the fall is rake up leaves. And leaves have a benefit. They are great material to use in organic, compost piles. They can work as a mulch in some of the colder parts of the state. You can use them as a cover over some of your plant materials and actually give them a little bit of protection. So a good rake is nice to have. I do like to spend the money on something that's of good quality. So this is a spring tooth rake. Just by its name, you can see the spring action on it. So it works pretty good as a fine cleanup rake and doesn't do a lot of damage to the plants. So you can do some good raking. This one also has a nice comfortable grip on the bottom that's kind of insulated, so it keeps your hands nice while you're using it. But good quality tools are very important when you're working in the garden. And while we're working with leaves and other debris, here's a little item that is out on the market, and this is just a simple bag that has some straps sewed into it. Then you can put a lot of your clippings, if you're deadheading roses or some of your perennials or cutting back some of the annuals, you can throw the material in this little lightweight bag, doesn't have much weight to it. Or if you're raking up some leaves, you can put the leaves in here and you can just use it as a transport tote. So it's very lightweight. You can pick it up and carry the material to the compost pile, or if you're trying to build a mulch in a certain bed, you can fill that up and take that actually to the bed that you need it at. So this will work real good. Some other things that we can be doing this time of year, with foliage beginning to freeze and fall off the plants, we can look at some of our dormant oils. And this particular one is an actual organic. It comes from canola oil, so it's one that can be used. This being hooked on the hose and you can put it on, so it's very convenient. Don't have to do a lot of mixing, so this works real good. There are materials that you can buy also that you will mix with water and use them according to directions. Don't overdose them. If you're working with fruit trees, a good thing to use with your dormant oil is a copper fungicide. A lot of our fruit trees, especially the Prunus family, the stone fruits, carry a lot of bacterial diseases that can overwinter, and the use of a copper fungicide will help a little bit in that. It won't necessarily control the problem, but it will help to keep it from spreading. So you want to look at that. Some of the other main things that we're doing during this month is starting on some of our early pruning, and we want to have, again, good quality tools to use on this. This is a small lopper, and a lopper can have extended handles on it. This is kind of a short-handled one, makes it easy to get into some of the branch angles and stuff, but there are ones that have much larger handles on it. You can notice it does have a nice little shock absorbers there, so when you make the final cut, you don't get a lot of vibration back through the handles and down to your hand. So it's got a nice shock absorber system on it. This one is a bypass pruner, so that the limb is caught down here, and then as you begin to close it, this blade cuts into it, and so you don't want to take a limb that's too large in size. So these are kind of more for the inch, maybe inch and a quarter type branch. So anything larger than that, we'd like to switch to a saw, and these are some of the new saws that are out on the market now, and they have kind of a razor type cut to the blade on it, and they will cut in both forward and reverse action, so it makes a very fast cut. You want to make sure that you do have gloves on when you're using this saw, because it is a very, very sharp saw, and it will amazingly go through a limb very, very quickly. So if you have your hands anywhere nearby, and as that goes through, you can easily cut yourself, so you want to be careful there. Also, it has a locking blade on it, so it won't close back on your hand, so you just press in on it, and you can fold it back up and stick it in your back pocket for moving around, so it's very portable. So this makes an excellent gift for the holidays, and an excellent tool to use. We do also have some hand pruners, different kinds. This one again is a bypass pruner. The nice thing about this, it does have a rotating handle on it. So when you're making your cut, the handle actually moves with your hand. And so people that have a lot of hand ailment, maybe arthritis or some other hand injuries, this type of pruner does make it a lot easier to make the cut, and the grip feels a lot nicer on the hand. So this is another type of material that can be used. And then finally in the fall, we're making plans for our spring garden. We want to make sure the garden does look good, and the use of garden statuary or different little items in the garden. So they can be bird feeders, water baths, different things out in the garden, but these do help to accent the garden lot. So you might want to be thinking about that during the winter here. So there are a lot of things that we can be doing. So hopefully these are some tips that'll give you some ideas this November.